What's going on, guys? Tennessee, Arkansas, 4-3 tonight. Vols down 0-1, 0-1. Whatever. I can't even speak right now. Kind of a little bit aggravated, but yeah, Tennessee drops game one. Good thing is, no super regionals has ever been won after game one. But game two is when it matters. Tennessee was down 2 years ago, 0-1. Come back against Southern Miss to win. This is a different animal. I get it, but what's your opening thoughts tonight on this one? Pretty aggravating performance tonight, I think. What's your thoughts on it?
I would say the pitching staff did exactly what you wanted them to do. The bats just forgot to show up today. Phillips pitched great. I know he'd like to have that one pitch back. Other than that one pitch, he pitched really good. They scored a run on. I would rule it a pass ball. I don't know if they ruled it a pass ball or a wild pitch. And it was just that play where the guy on third stole home on that. That's just good base running. That's all that is. He committed as soon as he saw it get by, because that was barely even out of the circle. It was like a foot out of the circle. So that was a good play on his end, fundamentally wise. So that was a good play. I wasn't too mad about that because that's baseball. The guy made a great decision. They're up 1-0. Phillips got out of that inning. He settled down. He pitched good. He only made really the one mistake the entire game. It kind of stunk that it happened when it did. That was kind of a killer for us, I felt like. And then it was kind of, you go bullpen guy, bullpen guy, bullpen guy, which did work decently if you think about it the rest of the weekend wise. You didn't burn a single guy today that's not named Phillips. So Lloyd can pitch tomorrow. Krenzel can pitch tomorrow. I would save Arvidsson for possibly game 3 if you're in a good situation tomorrow. He only threw 11 pitches. And then Tanner Franklin looked good as well. So the pitching staff looked great. It was just the hitting that was abysmal. They were very aggressive early, just like last week. Keelan, first pitch of the game, he made contact with it for an out. I would assume that changes tomorrow. I don't think he'll be as aggressive because I don't think he's had the greatest luck swinging first pitch. He's hit some balls hard. It's just been right at guys. I just think everybody needs to do better at the plate. I don't know if it's an approach kind of thing or what it is. Today just wasn't good enough. Even you can go to the 9th inning there with Keelan. Again, it's a 2-0 count. The pitcher's kind of erratic. He's kind of throwing it all over the place. They have a quick mound meeting, and then you swing at the next pitch and you pop out to left field. That was a bad swing decision in my opinion. But you could make that case for all night long. You could single out every single guy in the lineup tonight, and they probably made a bad decision. The only guy I wouldn't single out would be Dean Curley. Dean Curley looked pretty good tonight. That 2-run homer was really nice. But everybody else it was disappointing at times. Fisher came through there at the end to keep the on-base streak going. But at the end of the day, at this point in the season, on-base streak doesn't mean jack squat. The only thing that matters is winning the baseball game. And that kind of goes back. If Keelan takes that 2-0 pitch, it kind of looked outside to me. It could have been a ball, could have been 3-0. He could have been standing on first. We could have had a tie game. We're not even doing a live post-game show right now. So it's just one of those situations of how it plays. You also have to have guys behind that do better. Inslee kind of did the same thing. He rolled over in a situation when he didn't need to roll over. I think he just needs to be more patient. He's struggled so far in the postseason. Same thing for Bargo. I'll say the one was a hit. When you hit it 105 miles an hour, it just bounced off the guy's glove. That was an unfortunate break from the box score, but you're at their place, so you're going to get some bad box scores. But other than that, nobody really stood out. Nobody really did anything. Bottom of the lineup didn't do jack squat. Outside of Dean Curley,
didn't do jack squat, not just
but like the 6 to the 9 spot, there was nothing. There wasn't even sniffing first base. So it's just they got to be better tomorrow. The only good thing is that Tennessee does set up well for tomorrow, in my opinion.
Got Doyle going tomorrow. You can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah.
You got to bring the bats tomorrow. And we'll hit some comments here. 1 hit, 8 innings. Yeah, 2 for the game. Doesn't deserve to win. It is. Offense was non-existent. Yeah, it was. My big problem tonight is this team in Arkansas, and I'm going to have a couple opinions on this. And I saw Canon Peebles' dad posted on this. He said, obviously, I'm biased. I saw it just a minute ago. He said, but, my kid gets tossed last week for what he did, and he's in the locker room watching this. But Root is still pitching. Yeah, let's make it let's quit the double standard stuff on it. I don't have a problem with the fire. I don't have a problem with Arkansas getting fired up. I understand why Root was. But that's one of those, and we've seen Tennessee normally, for the most part, doesn't just sit there and go that route like you're ready to go fight on the field. Root should have been out. He should have been out. It was over the top. And I say that as somebody that, yes, I know Tennessee has their actions. I don't need to hear any more about Tennessee and their actions after what we saw out of Root today. And Arkansas's pitchers did it a couple of weeks ago. They did it again today. But yet, yeah, Canon Peebles is in the locker room tonight because the Wake Forest catcher instigated something. But yet Root, both sides get a warning tonight on the umpiring was horrific tonight. It didn't cost them the game. It didn't help. It certainly did not help. It was not. It was rough. Home plate umpire. He was bad tonight. I'm not going to say he cost them the game. He didn't help. He did not help at all tonight. Phillips threw some good pitches, and there are I don't know, StatCast or so. I don't even know where you find that. People found it. Those pitches were pretty freaking good. But
I would say that Root had some pitches that were strikes that weren't called strikes either. So it was abysmal both ways.
Yeah, it was. There's no doubt. I mean, yeah, because he threw one to, was it Keelan or Fit?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think it was Keelan.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was right on the edge.
The ump was horrific. He was. It's time to go to robots.
Yeah,
get the humans out. The humans.
I mean, the human will still be there. They'll still stand there. It's just the challenge aspect, because it's going to be hard to mess up 3 times in an at bat, because I think you get what is it 1 or 2 challenges in an at bat. So I would think if you get 2, if the umpire messes up 3 times in an at bat, he shouldn't have a job in the first place. And I think that's something that would get addressed.
Tonight did.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the, I wouldn't say worst ever. I mean, it seems like every college baseball game you turn on, the home plate umpire is just awful. It's just inconsistent. That's all it is. I mean, a home plate umpire shouldn't have to make up calls like we saw him make tonight. You get a pitch right on the edge. He doesn't call it a strike. Next pitch is 3 inches further off the plate, and he calls it a strike. It's just, an umpire shouldn't have to be cleaning up his mess. I don't feel like that should happen. I think it should, and that happened once or twice elsewhere in the game. So it's just disappointing. I don't know. I don't know how that problem gets solved outside of robots, but it feels like every team's going to complain about it. Of course, when you lose,
they both have complaints.
Yeah, it's very common in college baseball, and I've noticed that since I started watching it, that the home plate umpires are just, the inconsistency with the strike zone is crazy. At least with major league umpires, beforehand, or the umpire, because it's the same guys. You know what the strike zone is going to be. You're going to know they have the tendency to call the low pitch or the high pitch, or which guys favor hitters or batters more, because that's out there. And because those guys have umpired a lot more games than these college guys have. But still, it's kind of disappointing to see how bad it can be both ways in a game like this.
Yeah, for sure. Did I watch a different game on this one? Lawless did what he could with that.
Yeah.
Phillips didn't cover the plate.
Yeah.
That should have been a pitch and out. Phillips jogged his ass to the plate.
I still think it was safe. Like, I don't think he's making the play there, because he had a great read off third base.
Yeah, but you've got to run to the plate.
Yeah, you do. That was my thing. It was like, okay, you got to hustle to the plate there. He's still probably safe. It's just, you got to cover home plate. And I think that may have been something.
The guy did it. It was a perfect jump. I mean, he read it perfectly. But
that was probably something that was addressed in scouting. They probably realized, because I'm sure there's pass ball or wild pitch film on him, and they just kind of realized that he doesn't really cover home plate. So that was probably a shout out to their scouting department on that one.
I mean, the guy that's he read it perfectly.
Yeah,
I mean,
he did read it perfectly.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't know, man. I thought Tony D was pretty fired up today. I mean, I mean, he didn't just get tossed, but I mean, somebody got a warning in the second inning. I don't know if it's him or Frank Anderson or somebody else in the dugout. Somebody got a warning in the second inning. I mean, in a game like that, I thought Vitello was pretty engaged today. Douglas Graham says, "Love your hat, Carrie." So, maybe I don't know that Peebles would have made a difference. They could have, but I mean that to me that's a wild pitch on it. I mean the guy. I don't know what Peebles would have. Maybe Peebles could have kept it in front of him, possibly, but
I
I
think
can't
Peebles
blame
would have.
Wallace on that one. I just can't. I'm in the minority on this. I've had people say, why are we swinging? If it's down the middle,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. And I get it. I mean, because Arkansas obviously worked the count and stuff, but I don't know.
I think
We go back and forth with this team. There'll be a game where it's like they're not aggressive enough, and then maybe it's a game they're too aggressive. If it's down the middle and you're swinging, I have no problem with it.
I think the only issue, I don't really have an issue with it being today's game. That's an issue if you do it again tomorrow. I think that is something that could cause some troubles just because of the fact. What was the first inning? How many pitches did he throw? Like 6? It was in between 4 and 6.
Here's to tell you, I run the dog out trying to get him to take a crap, and by the time I come back in, Arkansas was back.
Yeah, it was too quick of it was way too quick of an inning. And that's kind of, if Keelan's going to swing first pitch like that, I would like to see Fisher take a pitch or two, and then Inslee has to try to work in at bat because you got to have him pitch 10 pitches in the first inning. That's the bare minimum that you really need to see, especially in the postseason. Because in reality, they didn't necessarily have to use Gackle until the 9th inning. Root could have very easily went back out there for the 8th. I mean, he was
at 92 pitched the 8th too, though, didn't he? Or you're saying they realistically could have waited?
Yeah, because he was only at 92 pitches. I thought he was going to come back out. I was shocked that he didn't, especially the way that he was dealing. So it's just, and that's the situation as well. He threw 92 pitches. Come game 3, if you're in extra innings, he can come back in. So
wouldn't be surprised.
And that all falls on the fact that you were so aggressive in the first 4 or 5 innings, and he was through 5 innings in like 53 pitches. That's just, you got to work some at bats there. I get that he's throwing strikes, but you got to take 1 or 2. And considering how inconsistent the home plate umpire was, you may get a gift.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you said, too, Root threw some pitches. I'm like, I cannot remember who. He threw a curveball that was absolutely perfect, and it was, it's like, I don't get it. But would you change the lineup up tomorrow? I don't think Vitello will.
I can't because you haven't changed the lineup since before the SEC tournament. At this point, it's ride or die with these guys with the lineup that you have. You're not even seeing pinch hitting from in any kind of situation from Chris Newstrom or Blake Grimmer or anybody else. So it's just kind of, you're getting what you're getting, and if they don't provide for you, then they don't provide for you.
I'd move Curley and I'd switch Curley and Inslee. I wouldn't think twice. They won't do it, but
no,
I wouldn't think twice about it. Just right now, I just think other than Fisher, Fisher, Keelan, Curley are the 3 guys that are hitting. And I know Keelan didn't today. I still would trust him to come through this weekend before it's over with. Inslee, Vargo, Chapman, those guys. Vargo should have had a hit today. A lot of times when you hit one that hard, like I said, 105, and it deflects off the glove, they give it a hit. So
if that's in Lindsey Nelson Stadium, that's a hit. It's who you got in the press box.
Yeah, that's right. No doubt about it. I thought Phillips, man, it felt to me early like that should have been like a 5 or 6-0 game, and it
really should have. Yeah, the defense played great today. There was, double plays. Chapman made a great play out in right field. Even the semi-routine kind of plays in the infield, they were all good. Fisher played great at first base. He had some weird hops over at first. He received just the grounders, and as well as when guys were throwing it to him. So the infield, the outfield, defense as a whole did really, really well for us today. It's just disappointing that the bats just didn't show up whatsoever. But I guess that's just the trade-off that we had today. Pitching was pretty good. Fielding was great. Bats were lost.
Yeah, they were. And they weren't even – you had what? I can't remember what key. Well, I didn't even see it because, like I said, I took the dog out to try to let him do his thing. But I know he said Fisher hit one to the wall there. They weren't even competitive at bats, really. I mean, everything hit for the most part today, other than Fisher and Curley's home runs. There was really nothing there. And Arkansas is the best building team in the conference. They're not going to self-destruct like a certain team that we know has done this year. The bottom line, when it comes down to it, I mean, yeah, I didn't like the ump, but it went both ways on it. Here's the bottom line. Arkansas hit, Tennessee didn't. You look at the box score, you look at the hits on it today. Tennessee had 2 hits. Arkansas had, was it 8? No, they had 10.
It was like 11, 10 or 11, yeah.
So obviously, here's where this stat I think is a little overrated, because Tennessee probably didn't have many left on base today. Well, it's because they didn't get on base today either.
You only got on base. You essentially you didn't really leave runners on base. You got the runner on base. Dean Curley hits a 2-run home run. Keelan got on first base, and Fisher grounded into a double play. That's it. So nobody else did anything.
I see we've got an Arkansas fan. Here's the thing, bud. Series ain't over yet. All right? It ain't over yet. Yeah, Tennessee's not won down since 2001. They may not win down there. Very well, but
how many series have we played there, though, like since 2001? Like 6?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they play there every year.
No, when was the last time we went there outside of this year? Was it 2020? 2019? 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did go there in 23.
We've gone there back-to-back for some reason, because Tennessee came to Arkansas came to Knoxville in 21. I think they were still under COVID restrictions when Arkansas come in.
Yeah, that worked.
Arkansas took 2 or 3. I think was that the Max Ferguson walk-off?
Yeah.
Which was pretty awesome. But
that changed. That pretty much changed the Tennessee baseball program. That kind of put us on the map. Even though we lost the series,
and Vanderbilt that year, the Evan Russell 3 home run game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when Evan Russell come out and said something about being the villains, and they discussed the villains today. Let's see. Yeah, if we don't, I totally agree. If we don't hit tomorrow, we don't have to worry about Monday. No doubt about it. Bargo is a hot and cold player, and he is ice freaking cold right now. There's no doubt about it. I hate to say it, I had no confidence at the end. What we needed to extend that game was for Keelan to get on base. I felt confident Fisher would get on somehow on it. I don't really, the only guys I have confidence in the lineup right now, I'm not going to lie about it, is Keelan. I still got confidence in Keelan, Fisher, and Curley. But with that said, it's not that I'm not saying these guys can't hit or anything. Somebody will come through tomorrow. Somebody will come. We're going to Monday.
They have to.
We're going to Monday. I don't know what time. We're playing effing baseball on Monday.
I hope so.
That's just going to be the bottom line on it. Yeah, it's ride or die at this point. There's no doubt about it. Well, we're playing based on seeding. That's why we're playing them. I mean, that's what the matchups were. I mean, yeah, they could have. They don't reseed, so it is what it is. I think it's a joke, but it is what it is with it too. Yeah, gotta give credit to Zach Root. He was great today. He was absolutely on it, no doubt about it. Again, I don't have a problem with him getting fired up. I don't. Fisher kind of egged it on. But if you're going to throw Canon Peebles out for what happened last week, which was a joke, and I'm not for throwing these guys out. I don't like it, but can't be a double standard. either. What time we at? 3 o'clock tomorrow. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep, 3 o'clock. I'm sure there will be some game that drags over, so we'll have to start it on ESPNU or ESPN Plus. It is what it is on it. But, I don't think all is lost tonight. I mean, you get 2 hits and you lose 4-3.
That's still pretty good.
The bottom line is obviously the score, but, man, you still have a chance. Still have a chance at the end on it. And I think Tony overanalyzed the 1 inning because they said Arkansas's leadoff guy hits like 450 against lefties, and then he brought Arvidsson in. And the first pitch really was the difference in the game. Well, not saying Arvidsson cost them the game, but I know Tennessee is a very analytical team. That surprises me. They kind of went stubborn on that. It seemed like it's kind of one of those. They're like, we're winning with our guy. Deal with it here. The stories about Doyle. I saw Robert said Doyle will get them fired up tomorrow. But here's the thing: if Doyle's throwing a fastball right down the middle, they're going to light him up again. He's going to have to mix it up like he did last weekend when he pitched. Who did he throw against? Miami of Ohio first?
Yeah.
So
the thing is, though, the last time he was there, he did have a blister. There was a fat blister or something on his finger the last time he made it to Arkansas.
Yeah. They are absolutely not canceling game if it gets to game 3 of a super regional. That will not happen. There's no way. What Tennessee Southern Miss went.
Yeah, they played
that game 3 went up into the night, didn't it?
Yeah, it didn't start till basically midnight.
Yeah,
if not later.
They'll play it Tuesday. They're not canceling a super regional.
No.
There's no way. They shouldn't. There was some conference tournament, or at least one that got canceled, which was a joke.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I can't remember which one it was, but it basically cost somebody going to the postseason. I mean, who knows who would have won?
I think. Not sure who it was. I think Florida Gulf Coast was involved in that, but I don't know who they're playing.
Sounds kind of familiar.
Would have been Stetson?
Maybe it was actually. It was. That should, especially when those guys, their berth is on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. Don't even play the freaking thing.
Is that the ASUN?
I think it is actually. Yeah, that was the last time ETSU had made it, right? When they were in the ASUN.
I didn't know about that.
I think 2013 was the last time ETSU had made the tournament, and they were in the ASUN at that point. But yeah, about Coastal Carolina, Auburn's gone.
Yeah, that was put it on them 2 nights in a row.
They did. Hats off to them on it.
Yeah, that's really impressive because we saw how good firsthand Auburn is.
That's right.
And they had Ike Irish up last at bat.
Coastal come in and
take
care of business with Coastal's. Well, they said Coastal have not been back to the College World Series since they won it in 2016. But
nope.
Coastal's good. I know, like, even up when I was in the Columbia area, you would think there's some really good talent around Columbia. There's a good bit of it gets out there and goes to Clemson and Coastal. South Carolina doesn't. They by no means control their home area.
Yeah.
On it. I know they got Hollins, but he was a legacy. Other than that.
That's where Doyle started at.
What's that? Oh, yeah, that's right.
He started at Coastal.
That's right. Coastal to Ole Miss. Fisher was Duke to Ole Miss.
Yep.
So there you go. Coastal's the real deal, man. Baseball in South Carolina is strong.
It is kind of funny because if you think about it, Fisher and Doyle, both the teams they started with, are Coastal's already in Omaha, and Duke's one went away since they won today. So both of those teams that they used to play for could make it to Omaha, and they not make it a home run. The only good thing is they did have the year last year at Ole Miss, so it doesn't necessarily hurt as much if they came to Tennessee if they don't necessarily make it because they did go to Ole Miss last year and they blew it last year as well. So it
Yeah,
wouldn't be as big of a pain that way for them.
Kind of makes you wonder why they left those two places, because I think both of them were pretty vital parts of those rosters.
Yep.
I
I think they just thought that. I mean, at that time, Ole Miss was pretty recently off a national championship. They just didn't necessarily expect them to fall off in back-to-back years like that.
I didn't realize that. I think I kind of remember this now. Root comes from East Carolina.
Yeah, because they had Trey Savage game one, because it was, remember, Savage and then Burns last year in the regional. And they also had Root as well.
Was Root on East Carolina last year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. Because they mentioned it earlier. I mean, they had Trey Savage, the game one guy, and he was game two, and they said it's not a bad guy to be behind.
Gosh, no, man,
and they didn't even get past Evansville.
That was a crazy regional because you had East Carolina, Wake Forest. Who was the third one? It was Liberty. It was I'd have to look it up. All that, and then Evansville. That was a stacked regional. And then, I mean, we saw Evansville took Tennessee to game 3. So, I mean.
Yep. I was at the game they lost. That was a brutal game. It was like 95 degrees. Got there at like 7 a.m.
Didn't have it that day.
No.
Yeah, Root can pitch, man. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with him getting fired up today, but I thought it was over the top. I wouldn't have even had a problem if Canon Peebles hadn't got tossed last week. I mean, it was, and apparently, from what I heard, the catcher for Wake did instigate it, and Peebles responded. But somehow the Wake Forest catcher got away with being a prick last week, and at least a couple instances. But yeah, there you go. I don't know really how much. We'll go a little bit longer here and wrap this thing up. But for Tennessee, I mean, is it really? I think it's pretty cut to the point tomorrow. Got to hit, right?
Yeah, you absolutely have to hit. Each bat is your last.
Yeah. I really am surprised. I didn't expect to see a 4-3 game out of the two teams this weekend.
Yeah.
Based on the way they hit and based on the series they had a couple weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago, I guess it was. Arkansas may be better and more. We'll see. Tennessee, I think definitely. To me, Tennessee's numbers, if you look at their numbers, they're pretty consistent. Tennessee and Arkansas is along the line, but I think Tennessee padded their stats on non-conference and early on with it. I really do.
That's okay, though.
It is. And, it's Arkansas's. I mean, I don't know that there's a better lineup 1 through 9 than Arkansas's. I mean, there's not an easy out in the whole lineup.
No. I mean, whenever we played them in the regular season, their 9-hole hitter made us alive that weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the bottom line with it. Tomorrow, but I think with your season on the line tomorrow, who would you rather have pitching tomorrow? I feel pretty good with Liam Doyle going tomorrow. Bottom line, though, is you got to mix up. If he's just up there throwing fastballs down the middle, they'll hit him. They know that. And I think Tennessee realized that last weekend because he had a couple of weekends in a row where he wasn't as effective. And I think it's too many fastballs. They adjusted last weekend, and I'm still going. I'm saying we're playing Monday or Tuesday, whatever. But I expect it to get a little more tippy tomorrow.
Yeah.
On it. But to me, I give credit to Arkansas tonight. Obviously they hit better. Both pitchers. I thought Phillips. How would you describe his? It was kind of a weird effort tonight, but it was effective.
That's kind of been the story of the season for him. I feel like it's just not necessarily the greatest, not bad, just good enough. He just
Yeah.
manages to get away and get out of the inning without having them put it on us. There hasn't been too many crooked numbers put up on him. It's just been he just kind of gets around things. The defense likes to show up when he's on the mound. Double plays have helped him at times, like it did today. And it's just basically the stolen bases have just kind of made it all crazy because it's like every single time a guy gets on first base, you're just terrified that he's going to steal. So it's kind of weird. Strikeout number isn't going to be incredibly high. Like he's not going to strike out 10 dudes in a game. That's just not something you're going to see from him. You're not going to see him get through 6 innings. That's just not going to happen. He's just going to battle through about 4 to 5 to possibly into the 6th inning, and you just kind of get what you get because he's probably, like he did today, allowed 2 to 3 runs. That's typically that's kind of what I feel like is going to happen with them. It's just the offense needs to step up and do something.
And it could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been. We could have had a perfect game through 3 innings, and or like us, Arkansas have a perfect game through 3 innings, and they got like 6 runs. It could have been 6-0 after 3 innings, and it just the wheels could have fell off after that. So Phillips did a great job at battling, and he got the strikeouts when he needed to. I will say that, and he also got the double play when he needed it the most.
Yeah, he did, because it was like I felt like the floodgates were about to open, and then all of a sudden we get to double play because it just felt like Arkansas was close to just 1 or 2 hits.
I was waiting on
that thing open.
I was waiting on it.
Yeah. Tony needs to recruit better.
Nope. He's doing as good as you could ever ask for.
I mean, I don't know what more we want. He just brought in the #1 class. He's got the #2 class now. I mean, where would this team be at without his recruiting portal? Commence. Keelan, Fisher, Doyle, Franklin did a good job tonight.
Arvidsson.
Yeah, Arvidsson was what, JUCO? So I don't.
Even Bargo.
I don't. Tony Vitello does not have a problem recruiting.
Transfer.
Yeah, he'll hit the portal again. I mean, they got is it Rudy? Was that how you pronounce the guy's name? I've not even looked at it. I caught it.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Another Kennesaw guy.
Yep.
So, and he, from what I've seen, they were really high on him. So, seem like they're doing a pretty good job rebuilding.
And the Walter State kid.
Yeah, Myatt coming in. It'll be. I'm kind of with these JUCO guys on the fence with it. You bring them in for sure, but like we've seen the Colby Backuses, the Robin Villeneuves, Brad Keylori, these guys that lit it up in JUCO. Can that translate to the SEC?
The only thing I would say, like Brad Keylori, he wasn't good. Like his skill set is not something that would transfer to the SEC. He's a leadoff guy, and that was it. But he couldn't hit, so
I can't remember which game it was at the end of the season. He struck out, and he just stood there looking shocked. And I'm sitting there looking TV. I was like, "Get off the field, man!"
Yeah,
this shouldn't be a shock to you.
Didn't it take like over a month for him to get his first hit? I feel like
I can't remember.
There was something, and it was just every time there was no chance he was getting hit, much less hit a ball out of the outfield.
And then he started game 2 of the regional super regional against Evansville.
Yeah, I don't really know why Tony had that obsession with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Christian Moore was
hurt.
There was some kind of injury.
Yeah, there was. Because he has
DH. Yeah, still, yeah. And I would have put Antigua in or somebody over.
Yeah.
Lori. I mean,
I'd put Hunter High in.
I'd have left the freaking spot open. Yeah, we probably need to get in the back. Well, here's a good thing too. We're not facing Root. I mean, their pitcher tomorrow is good for Arkansas. He does have a high ERA though, but I think he had some pretty good success the first time.
It's Wood, correct?
Let me look here.
if it's Gage Wood, he struck us out. What was it?
Yeah,
10 or 11 times. We just happened to get runs off of him, but he still ate us up that game. He looked
Yeah, I think he's
incredibly
one of
impressive.
those guys. He has a high ERA, but I think the ERA is a little. Don't go by the ERA with his stuff. I think he's the real deal. I got to read this. I know people ain't. I'd go AJ tomorrow, so we're just not going to pitch Liam Doyle. I mean, nah. If you saved Liam Doyle for Monday and get beat tomorrow, you get what you get.
Yeah.
On it. I'm going down with my guy, especially, man, the story this week where Vitello said Doyle was going to kill him if he didn't put him in. And he said Doyle told him, he said, I didn't tell him to go to the bullpen. He said, I'm going to the bullpen and I'm not going down there to hang out. That's one of the biggest badass things I've ever heard right there. That was awesome. Let's see. Yeah, Phillips only allowed 3 both times. He went longer tonight. He did a pretty good job. It was one of those that felt like he was battling all night. I mean, he allowed the leadoff guy on numerous innings. And yeah, one of the toughest things to do in sports is get back to Omaha every season, especially if you're facing, an SEC gauntlet like this one. I'm not giving up yet, man. It ain't over. We got our guy going tomorrow on it. If you got to get the bats going for sure. But I expect Tennessee to come out ready to go tomorrow. All right, is Van Horn showing Tony why he was only a. Did I miss something along the way here where Tennessee won a national championship last year and Arkansas is still trying to get one? Did I miss that? Did I dream that one?
You did. It was a dream.
Yeah.
We just happened to have the same dream.
Yeah, we did. Can the dog clarify for us?
He's thinking the same thing.
He's saying the same thing?
Yeah, he's looking at me. He agrees.
Yeah. What's his name? I know you said. Bear. Did we all dream this up last year that Tennessee won a national championship, but Arkansas is still trying to get one? So I wouldn't get too cocky yet as Arkansas. Yeah, come back tomorrow. If you win it, talk it all you want. But you've won nothing yet, man. You've won nothing on it. So funny that the student got to the national championship faster than the teacher did. It's a dumb comment, man. See what else we got here. I don't know if we got much else here. We got some comments. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're at 171. That's some pretty good ones here. But, well, I mean, Tony is. How many years have we go to Arkansas every year? They come here in 2021, and we go there every other time. I don't get the scheduling stuff on it. I get it with this one. Obviously, Arkansas earned it, but it is what it is. Bottom line, though, we can sit here and play these games all day long. But here's the bottom line tomorrow. What has to happen to Tennessee to get to Monday?
Hit the baseball.
Yep.
That's all you really need. I mean, hit the baseball, score a lot of runs. Liam Doyle does what Liam Doyle does. Defense plays tomorrow like they did today. You're forcing game 3.
You got to hope it's kind of like a few weeks ago because Tennessee hit Root pretty good a few weeks ago, and he was dominant today. Same thing with Doyle. Arkansas hit Doyle pretty good a few weeks ago. You got to hope it's the same thing with him. He comes out, and he's dominant tomorrow. You get some hits on it, you're ready to go. Maybe a little more patience, but still some aggression tomorrow. But It is what it is. I'm still going, and I'll happily come on here and eat crow tomorrow. I'm saying this: Tennessee, Arkansas game 2 tomorrow, 3:00. Is that right? ESPN again.
Yep.
We're going to see a game 3 on Monday. He's Kerry. This is Frank. House of Orange. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Last but not least, even when losing to nasty, smelly Hogs, it's still a great day to wear the orange.